like?
What if every time someone went out, they paid us?
Wait. Like we're the entertainers?
Oh gosh, no. That's far too much energy.
But we could be the middleman.
Yes, we'll control the tickets.
Yes.
We'll make a website. We'll make everyone buy their tickets through us.
Yes!
Yes.
And we will add just a little bit of a fee.
Yeah, just a little bit to us.
Just a little bit of a fee.
Just a teeny tiny bit to us.
A little bit of a fee.
Tiny little bit of a fee. Do you want a fee? Do you want a little fee?
We'll just add a little bit of a fee.
Little fee.
Or
A lot bit. A lot of bit. Like hidden fees.
convenience fee.
Oh, like for their convenience?
No, for our convenience.
Yes, making money doing nothing is convenient.
It's so convenient.
What else?
Processing fee.
Digital delivery fee.
Print at home fee.
But wait,
What?
What if people get sticker shock when they see the price? Then they won't buy it.
But here's the beauty. We don't add any of the fees until the end.
Oh, yes! After they've already committed!
And by then,
will have already owned their soul. Soul processing fees. We'll make it so all the venues use it so no artist has control over their own show. They don't dance for the fans, they dance for us.
That shit is real fucking life. Them niggas are in the slave deal with the devil. You saw Drake texting Johnny Blaze? He said, "Hey, bitch, I can't even fuck you right now. My mind ain't even there."
Welcome to the receipts room, guys. Tonight, yo, listen, man, we gotta discuss it, man. Live Nation, baby. I'm your host, Chitty Bang, with tag team partner Chris the Most High. And tonight we're giving you the receipts room. This is Everything Is, where we talk about everything that matters. We are the culture. We are the zeitgeist. Chris, kick it off.
Hey, man, I honestly got one question that I would like to ask any and everybody that's watching tonight. Have your ass ever went online to purchase a ticket and them fees came and you looked at it, was like, do I want to go to this motherfucking concert? But yet you on the clock, you got 10 minutes, bitch, make your mind up, you know? No, for real, man. What's the most you've ever paid in Ticketmaster fees on top of a ticket price?
Man. On fees, I can't even remember. I just know that because how I am, I was like, if I'm going out, I already put in my mind it's going to be around $300. And I look at and I try to, go from there. Now, I do know that the Kendrick tickets, I paid a friend of mine who got them, and it was over $1,000. Like it was like up to $1,000. I'm not, so I don't know. I'm not sure what portion of that was the fee. I really don't know. But I know the fees be crazy, because when I went to see Stoke God, it was just like in a small venue. I paid like $300 for the tickets, and I was standing room only, so.
What?
Yeah, it was nuts.
I know when you even try to like Mania tickets, right? When we get Mania tickets last minute or Wale Mania tickets, you know what I'm saying? Like the ticket be $40, $50, $120 just to get in the door. And like you say, by the time it's all said and done,
that's how much the ticket was for Stoke God. But to whatever I got it through, there was fees involved. Now, granted, it wasn't $300. I'm exaggerating, but it was up there. It was like maybe $150. It's more than the ticket.
It's more than a ticket. Yeah, the fees be as more than the fees be more than a ticket. And like they say, a convenience fee would be, bitch, I can't get this ticket nowhere else, ho. Like I can't get this ticket nowhere else, man. So, all right. Without further ado, my man said it. We are in the receipts room. We are talking Live Nation and Ticketmaster because unfortunately they are one. They are one. There is no separation of church and state with them. They are together. So November 2022, and I know all my Swifties. You know, we got other things we want to talk about with Taylor Swift, but we're gonna stick on subject right now. All my Taylor Swift fans tried to get that Eras tour when it went on sale, my nigga.
Yeah.
3.5 million people registered for this pre-sale. So the website crashed. People waited 8 hours in a virtual queue, and then some got booted right out when it was time to go ahead and pay that chick. Some paid $40,000 in resale market just to see this concert. Now, I ain't gonna hold you. Taylor, I love you. From a distance. 40,000 to see you sing on an acoustic guitar?
40,000 is crazy.
40,000 is crazy. But this is the thing. When it was over, Ticketmaster blamed Taylor Swift, saying that she was doing too many concerts.
Crazy. Listen, man, let's talk about who Ticketmaster actually is. Listen, Ticketmaster and Live Nation merged in 2010, like you just mentioned. No separation between church and state. So the DOJ let them do it under a what they call a consent decree. Consent decree, meaning that they promised to play fair, right? Obviously, they did not. The DOJ admitted in 2020 that they had to reopen the case. So right now, today, Live Nation controls over 80% of major concert venue ticketing in America. Ooh. They exclusively have arrangements with 265 venues. They manage over 400 artists. They own the promotion company. They own the venues. They own the ticketing platform. If you want to see a show at a major venue in this country, America, your money goes to Live Nation, period, at almost every single step. This is not a marketplace. This is a toll booth with a playlist, and you're paying a fee every single time.
Hey, now again, what we want to tell you here is that in May of 2024, right, the United States Department of Justice Antitrust Division, together with the Attorney General of 29 states plus the District of Columbia, filed a civil antitrust complaint against Live Nation Entertainment and Corporation and Ticketmaster in the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York, right? And the reason why I bring this up is because right now this isn't a news cycle of 2022 where it started. Again, in 2024, when nearly 40 states filed for antitrust to break it apart. The trial just started in March 2nd of this year. Like literally, the trial just started. And then on April 15th in 2026, a federal jury found Live Nation guilty on every single antitrust count submitted. Every single one. But Trump's DOJ had already settled the week of the trial when it started. Now, if I'm going to trial, how the hell y'all already settled before the trial started the week of? For only $280 million. Now, I'm saying only $280 million because this is the twist. Twist it up. That's only 4 days of Live Nation's 2025 revenue.
4 days.
4 days. 4 days, bro. Critics call this a corporate pardon. And it came out that Live Nation CEO, Michael Rapino, had personally met with President Trump before that settlement was made public.
See, now we've been doing the receipts nights to show you what power actually works within this country. You know, what power actually looks like in this country. We talked about the Powell playbook a couple weeks ago. We talked about the Heritage Foundation recently and the infrastructure that, you know, it put in place for, you know, conservative right-wing presidents last week, prior to 2025, which is what built the pipeline. And tonight we're going to show you what happens when all of this is in place and when a corporation with a monopoly can walk into the White House and walk out with a settlement that costs less than a week's of revenue. Tonight we're reading the actual lawsuit, the actual numbers, and explaining why 33 states and DC rejected that settlement and kept fighting anyway.
Listen, this is my thing. Ticketmaster charged 82% in fees on top of the ticket price. A federal jury found that illegal. The Trump DOJ settled it less than 4 days of revenue of the week before the trial started. And us as the consumer had to pay $40,000 for a ticket. Now we didn't have to, but somebody paid.
Somebody did.
Somebody did. $40,000 for a Taylor Swift concert. Like this is. Let's just say this. That's not a legal system. That's a members only club. Exactly. We talked about that. So let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it, man. This is the Receipts Room. Live Nation Ticketmaster. Let's get into it. So, tonight, we bring to you the lawsuit. Well, before we get into the lawsuit, we want to tell you about the past. Let's bring it to the past, and let's talk about what Ticketmaster was and what it is today. So, I did my researches, my Googleses, and this is what I got. So, as of right now, unfortunately, Live Nation and Ticketmaster are still operating like nothing's changed. But to understand where we are today, we have to understand where we were and how we got here, right? So, how these systems work is that Ticketmaster handled the ticketing. When you would go and pay for your ticket, and they were separate from the venue. Being that the venue needs their tickets sold, they're the promoter. The venues, Live Nation was the promoter. They are promoting these artists. Yep. They need their tickets sold so that people can buy their tickets and come to the venues and see their artists. Ticketmasters need shows to sell tickets and take a percentage out of it. Those two apparatuses operated independently at one point. And when you operate independently, you can negotiate of who takes a percentage of what and whatnot. But there's always the possibility that Ticketmaster says, "Oh, we're not working with you. These fees are too much. We're going to work with another promoter." And Live Nation can be like, "Oh yeah, we're not working with this ticket service. We're going to work with a different ticket service." So I always like these analogies. So I'll say, think of it like a restaurant with a food delivery app. The restaurant makes the food, the delivery app brings it to your door, right? They are separate businesses, but here's the key. The delivery app needs the restaurant to have something to deliver, and the restaurant needs the delivery app to reach customers who are not coming in person, right? Each one has something the other needs. That's called mutual dependency in business, and that creates competition because they might go to other competitors rather than them if they start playing hardball. So before the merger, like I said, Live Nation was the restaurant. They put on the shows. They needed someone to sell tickets, right? They call up Ticketmaster. They're the delivery app. They sold the tickets. They needed to sell. They needed shows to sell tickets for. And the competition lies in that Live Nation didn't have to use Ticketmaster to sell tickets. They could use a different ticketing company, and Ticketmaster did not have to sell tickets exclusively to Live Nation shows. They could have worked with other promoters, so the competition was not Live Nation and Ticketmaster fighting over the same customers directly. It was each of them having leverage over the other and having to negotiate terms. Live Nation could threaten to take their business to a rival ticketing company, and if Ticketmaster wanted too big of a cut, And Ticketmaster could threaten to prioritize a rival promoters if Live Nation pushed too hard. That back and forth, each side having the ability to walk and go to a competitor, is what kept fees from getting completely out of control to begin with. It's a basic negotiating leverage right there. So you negotiate harder when the other person knows you have other options. Now, when they merge, the two sides become one company. The negotiation completely disappears at that point because you cannot negotiate with yourself. Live Nation no longer had to threaten to use a different ticketing company because they owned the ticketing company. Ticketmaster no longer had to compete for the best shows because they were owned by the company throwing the shows. The leverage that kept each side from checking each other evaporated overnight. And when the leverage disappeared, the fees started climbing because there was no longer anyone on the other side of the table with the power to say no. And this is why the merger matters. And that's why government was supposed to prevent it in the first place. But that goes to speak why they had this whole convenience clause or convenience, fee. But yeah, that's about explains the reasons why this is an issue to begin with. Go ahead.
Well, I won't even so much leave it there as far as that does a good job of explaining. But prior to all of this, Live Nation and Ticketmaster were competitors, even in selling tickets. Damn near Live Nation Entertainment were going
Also sold
to
tickets, correct? Yeah.
we're also going to sell tickets because again, nigga, we don't need you. We have all the acts. We manage all the acts, nigga. Like we are buying the venues or leasing the nigga. We don't need you.
But even in that situation, Ticketmaster can undercut them.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
That is, but and to your point, like instead of fighting a prolonged market share, a market share war, they just said fuck it because Ticketmaster has already bought out every other competition that they've had in their rise, right? So back to like you said in the past of where we came from, we don't know where we came from, we don't know where we've been. Ticketmaster, Ticketmaster was created and started in 76, I think it said in my notes. 1976. They became dominant through exclusive venue contracts. Live Nation spun off from Clear Channel, which was iHeartMedia. So when we're talking about kind of two conglomerates at the same time, Ticketmaster had made their name in the sand decades from buying out their rivals. In the 70s and 80s, there was a thing called Ticketron.
Oh, yeah.
And they were the primary rival in dominant markets back in the day, in the 70s and 80s. Ticketmaster had a history of buying their competitors, but they really couldn't do it until the dynamic switched. They, like you said, the aggressive outbidding, the aggressive out negotiating bought out other places. So we talk about them, Ticketron, who was national at one point in time. They was absorbed in 1991 by Ticketmaster. And then throughout the 90s and 2000s, all the smaller regional places, all the places that you could get a ticket from in your region or, I should say region because
regional ticket supplier.
Bay Area Seating Service was Ticketmaster's biggest West Coast rival, right? Where they were.
Remind me of WWE and the territories.
The territories,
and the territory system. And every single place has their own, over this territory, we handle the tickets here, you handle the tickets there. But when Vince McMahon came, he usurped all the territories into one and made it WWF. And Ticketmaster kind of was doing that, picking up different spots and usurping it into one big thing. So by the 90s, all I knew was Ticketmaster. I didn't know where else to go to get a ticket. Over time, things would pop up online. It became a digital way to get tickets, whether it was, StubHub,
Eventbrite or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Eventbrite. Oh man, the days of Eventbrite, man, I miss them days.
Oh my mama.
Shit, that's some good nights.
Boy, you got some names on y'all over there. Oh man, yeah.
Toya and Tina. But yeah, man. So they started picking up these like these territories or these regional sale ticket distributors, or I should say sellers or whatever. And we know him as Ticketmaster, the master of all tickets. Even to, like you said, to get a ticket to wrestling or to an event, they were advertising that on all of their wrestling events. I'm sure that if you saw a Michael Jackson ad or somebody coming out, you would see it on even BET. People will say, "Oh, go to Ticketmaster, get your tickets."
Go to Ticketmaster, get your tickets.
They were
Yep.
the standard, and they still are.
But
Let's be real.
but this was the vertical, but this is the vertical integration right here, right?
Exactly.
And we read these numbers, but I just want these to land for a little bit So the DOJ complaint in May of 2024 reported 80% of major venue primary ticketing is controlled by Ticketmaster Live Nation. So 80% of the country's major venue primary ticketing comes from one place. That's a lot, bro. 60% of United States amphitheaters are owned by the same company. So places you go to your concerts, whatever the case may be. 265 exclusive venue arrangers, meaning they don't take no other deal but from them. 400 major artists manage. So now this is what we're talking about. Live Nation manage artists. So they manage the artists. They manage where the artist can perform. They manage how much the artist charges for, or the artist can't even charge because the artist don't even get a piece of the money.
Yep.
And this
they're
is
getting it on the front end.
And this is the big number here right here. 646 million tickets were distributed in 2025. 646 million tickets. They made $25.2 billion in 2025 revenue. That's insane.
1 year.
In 1 year. So fees that inflated
Remember
ticket
that number? Because I want to bring that back up a little bit later.
Okay.
Talk about the settlement.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah. Listen, I'm gonna share my screen real quick.
Go ahead. Yeah.
To show you the actual document that is
Let's go.
United States District Court, Southern District of New York versus Live Nation Entertainment and Ticketmaster. And just explains to you the nature and the purpose of the proceedings. And I want to talk about also the description of events and just the first two articles. Our first receipt. Let's go. Okay, you can see my screen?
I can see your screen.
All right, boom. So it says So you guys can find us on justice.gov. You guys just type in Live Nation Entertainment Ticketmaster, United States District Court, Southern District of New York, and this should pop up. But I just want y'all to understand the nature of the case so that we can be on the same page here. On May 23rd, 2024, the United States and several states filed a civil antitrust complaint against defendants of Live Nation and Ticketmaster. Plaintiffs subsequently filed an amended complaint on August 30th, 2024. The complaint alleges defendants violates Section 1 and 2 of the Sherman Act 15 USC. Now let's look into the Sherman Act before we continue, just so we are all on the same page. Sherman Act, Section 1, and what did it say? Section 1 and 2. And I'm gonna use a little bit of Google's here, guys. But let me share y'all this real quick, and then we're going to go back to the document. Section 1 of the Sherman Act. Section 1 prohibits every contract combination or conspiracy that unreasonably restrains interstate and international trade. It targets concerted and collective action between two or more separate entities. Rule reason. Because almost any contract restrains trade, courts generally apply in the balance text to evaluate whether the anti-competitive effects of the agreement outweigh the business justifications and pro-competitive benefits. I needed to say this in plain English. Sorry. Explain this. Explain each section. Simplify. Just so y'all can understand and I can understand shit. So, Section 1, no teamwork to cheat the market. Section 1 bans 2 or more companies from teaming up to cheat consumers or competitors. It stops businesses from making secret agreements to destroy the competition. Its key rules is it's strictly illegal for competitors to agree on prices, split up territories, or rig bids. Bottom line, companies must compete with each other, not cooperate and rig the game. And then Section 2.
That's not how it goes when we're talking about Live Nation has a vertical integration for everything that happens in this, bro. Like, this is ridiculous how they just bypass the law.
Exactly. And this is we're seeing this repeatedly. We're seeing this repeatedly. There's so many people who have so much power in this world that have no accountability to rules that were put in place for specific reasons. And if they are friends with other people who also have power, who also can, manage different, organizations or, are willing to, hey, you know what, you rub my hand, you rub my back, and rub yours type of thing, then they get what to do whatever they want in this country. And that's why I have a problem when people say, just have this blind patriotism. Like I think what we do here is true patriotism. Is holding your country accountable for the rules and promises they've made to the consumers and civilians. And as you see here, they're blatantly going against Section 1. Listen, no teamwork or no to cheat the market. And as you saw over here, there's very strict language, very big words, and very, but we that's kind of almost by design so that we can't understand our own protections that are in place. We don't know how many class action lawsuits that we've endured that we could be making our own millions of dollars off of suing a big corporation, but we sit here in silence and we don't push back. So we all sit here and just complain. We all just complain about what the corporations are doing to us. We complain what the job market is doing to us. We complain about all the fees, and then we just move on with our life, not knowing or not even caring that there's if you actually use your voice, you can get something out of it, or at least make some things change in this world. And then we move on to Section 2. It says no bullying your way to the top. Let me read the original section. The section is Section 2. It's called monopolization. Section 2 prohibits any single firm or group of firms from monopolizing, attempting to monopolize, or conspiring to monopolize any part of trade or commerce. Unlike Section 1, Section 2 primarily deals with unilateral conduct rather than joint agreements. Having a monopoly is not inherently illegal. A firm violates Section 2 only if it holds significant monopoly power and engages in deliberate exclusionary conduct to acquire or maintain that power rather than winning through superior product or business acumen. And that is by the American, the source is the American Economic Liberties Project. And then we also have the Department of Justice for Section 1. If you want to go check out the sources. So in plain English, no bullying your way to the top. Section 2 stops any powerful company from bullying everyone else to control a market. It's not illegal to be a monopoly. It is not illegal to be a monopoly if you got there by having the best product. It is illegal if you got there by sabotaging your rivals. Big companies cannot use dirty tactics like selling products at a massive loss to starve out small competitors. You can win by being the best, but you cannot win by cheating. All right.
Well, I think they are trying to fight by saying we both had the best product, right? Like we both Like
Yeah,
that would
maybe,
probably
maybe.
be that
But
would probably be
if
their
you think
thing.
about it, their best product is what? What is the product though?
Well, Live Nation, the Live Nation's vertical integration right there. That is the best product. We have the artists, we manage the artists, we distribute the artists, we place the artists there. So that is without saying they have, without a doubt, the product. So for them to say that we disseminate this product and put them in the houses that we own or lease out or have a contractual beneficial relationship with, to me, Ticketmaster, then, like you say, growing up in the 90s, all you knew is get my tickets at Ticketmaster. So you don't get your ticket kind of nowhere else. You know what I'm saying? And I think right.
But that doesn't mean that they have the best product. It just means that they're the most ubiquitous. It's it's branding to me. And obviously, the judges, they lost on every single account. There must be something that they've done that was underhanded and dirty. So
I think the monopoly portion of it, where they said it's not illegal, but I think realistically the way that it's being done is very, bro. The artist management.
Let's go for it. No, go ahead. Finish what you were saying. Sorry.
I was going to say between like, they didn't become a monopoly by being the best. They became a monopoly by owning every door you have to walk through.
Exactly.
Like every single dollar, every single step, bro. The artist management, the concert promoter,
it's more
the
like
venue
creating
owner.
barriers and not making it easier or convenient. Like, sometimes it's like people use Amazon because, hey man, it's just convenient, it's easy. To a degree, it becomes a monopoly, but it's just very easy when you can just at a finger tap get something delivered to your house and not have to drive to the mall and pick it up, or drive to the store. That's the same thing with DoorDash, Grubhub, Instacart, whatever. You can just boom, and we then know these one companies for these one things. And it becomes almost like a monopoly, but it's because of the convenience, not because they've said, oh, no, we barred you from going to the mall. We barred you from going to the grocery store. We barred you from going to restaurants. You have to use delivery services because we've now bought out every restaurant. We bought out every single mall, every single producer. And now we only allow you to walk in because we don't open for walk-ins on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You know what I mean?
Well, it's tough though. It's tough because I am also looking at it, and this is, again, we have a script that we're going to try to follow, but I just want to throw this out here, like with Live Nation is the financial backing for Rock Nation, right? Live Nation has an extremely massive financial stake in Rock Nation. I'm bringing that up by saying this. Artists managed by Rock Nation are guaranteed global touring through Live Nation by routing them through this massive network. So the independence that an artist has or had no longer exists once you get into contractual obligations with the management. And the reason why I'm only saying this is because the CEO of Live Nation is Michael Rapino. He made his bones by promoting small independent artists. Yeah, that's what he used to do that's what he used to do in Canada. That's his thing. Like, he was a college student that used to book it, so he knows the ins and outs of an independent promoter, of an independent artist, right? So for him to make this conglomerate and kind of force an independent artist to only serve at
that's a great point. I do want to double back on that, but because I do have something to say about it, but I don't want to go too deep into that. But you're making a great point. They have a certain way of forcing not only us to be consumers of their ticket pricing and fees, but also the artists of only using them as well. But that's another layer we got to get into in a moment. But let me just get through this real quick. So we know what the Sherman Act is, as well as several state laws by engaging in anti-competitive conduct in certain ticket promotions. On March 25th, defendants of the United States executive term sheet memorializing the material of settlement pending litigation. Subsequently, state of Arkansas, Iowa, all these damn states, settling states, joined the settlement with additional terms applicable only to settling states. The United States and settling states have now filed a proposed file a judgment stipulation order to which defendants have agreed, and that is designed to remedy the loss of competition alleged in the complaint. So basically, they're being sued by multiple states for this monopoly.
Yep.
So let me go down to Article 2, the description of events by giving rise to allegations. So defendants are the largest. Here comes the defense. The defendants are the largest live entertainment company in the world, and the largest producer of live music concerts in the world, and the world's leading live entertainment ticket sales marketing company. Live Nation Entertainment was formed in 2010 as a result of a merger between Live Nation and Ticketmaster. At the time, to resolve competitive concerns the United States alleged would result from the merger, Live Nation entered into a 2010 final judgment with the United States, in which Live Nation agreed not to condition live entertainment content on a venue use of Ticketmaster or retaliate against a venue that chose or considered a primary ticketing provider other than Ticketmaster, among other relief. In years following the 2010 judgment, Live Nation engaged in conflict that the United States viewed violated the 2010 judgment. More specifically, the United States alleged that Live Nation had repeatedly conditioned and threatened to condition its provision of Live Nation content on venues using Ticketmaster's primary ticketing service. Actually, this is just the allegations. So as a result of 2020, Live Nation and United States agreed to modify and extend the 2010 final judgment into what became the 2020 amended final judgment. As alleged, the complaint defendants have maintained monopolies or restrained competition in certain markets for primary ticketing promotion services for artists, promotion and booking service for venues, and the use of large amphitheaters through a wide range of anti-competitive acts. For example, defendants entered into exclusive primary ticketing contracts with major concert venues, threatened and or retaliated against venues that chose to or considered working with competing ticketers, and entered into exclusive and preferred booking agreements with venues, acquired venues, and promoters, entered into anti-competitive agreements with OVG related to ticketing, and tied artists access to defendants, amphitheaters, to use defendants' promoting services. So they're bullying. They definitely are bullying motherfuckers. So let's put it that way. They're definitely the bullies in the situation. So they have been threatening and making sure that certain places did not compete with them, did not even try to. Venues that didn't want to work with them and wanted to work with another ticketing company, or they use force to make sure that they wouldn't. And you're right. Maybe the defense is that they're the best in the world, But
I mean, and when you're a publicly traded company, you have a lot of people that have, some money involved. So when we talk about states, governors, senates, when they're making that vote and when they're agreeing to it, we've already seen inside trading happen at the highest level of government. There's no way that you can say that somebody that's not a senator, brother-in-law, is not, got a couple hundred thousand in the Live Nation, stock that helps all the family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's Donald Trump said it. Hey man, before my kids make any move, they come talk to me because I know. And I'm like, God damn! Like you can just say that out loud. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, there's a lot of antitrust shit going on, including in our freaking White House, stuff going, But to better explain why this even occurred with Live Nation and Ticketmaster, we have to dive into the consent decree, which was touched on in that document. There was pretty much the government, when they set this merger up, they approved it and said, hey, under these conditions, like don't threaten to, not go to punish, a venue and all that stuff. So the DOJ didn't just wave things through; they approved it under what's called the consent decree. What it is it's a legal agreement that said the merged company had to follow a specific rules. They had to license their ticketing software to competitors so other companies could actually compete. So they had to use their ticketing software, license it to other companies so that they could actually compete. They could not punish venues for using rival ticket company. Those were the conditions. They violated both of them. DOJ had to reopen the case in 2020 because the company allowed to merge had broken the promises they had made to get the merger approved. So, um, the average concert ticket fee through Ticketmaster, I guess, runs around 27% of the ticket cost. At its worst, it could hit 82%. Um, what that means practically is that if a ticket costs, if it costs, let's say, $50, you can pay 90 by the time you check out. If the
Yep.
ticket says 100, you can pay 180.
Yep.
The difference, the gap between the ticket cost and what you actually pay does not go to the artist, as Chris was just mentioning. Musician Clyde Lawrence testified to Senate that he has zero say in setting those fees and zero participation in the money from them. The venue gets cut. The venue gets a cut. Ticketmaster keeps a cut, and the artist gets none of it. So you paid $180. The person you came to see received none of the $80 above the $100 ticket price. So this is what's been going on, and this goes to why there was a whole issue with the Taylor Swift situation. So
Yep.
yeah, you want to get into that?
Yeah, I think let's give them what they came here for, man. Let's give 'em- for those who watching. I appreciate y'all, but I know the only thing we're gonna be able to clip up is this Taylor Swift conversation. Good.
Yeah, man, let me get to hit that algo, bro. All right. So why the Senate hearing matters? I know there's a lot of jargon going on right now, but it's not just because the senators, they quoted Taylor in the actual hearing. Yes, the senators they quoted Taylor Swift's lyrics in the Senate hearing. It was funny, but the reason the hearing matters is what was revealed about who gets held accountable and when. The
Yep.
system had been operating this way for years before 2022. So even Bad Bunny fans had valid tickets were turned away at the door at concerts in Mexico City in December of the same year that the Taylor Swift incident happened. And I gotta let me see if I think I might have an article on that situation over here too.
Bad Bunny.
And Bad Bunny, the bunny. All right, so Live Nation Entertainment full year quarter. It's not this one actually. Give me 1 second.
And again, Taylor Swift is without a doubt probably the biggest artist of this generation currently. And I really do believe that without this situation with her tour, I don't know if because Chini's reading things from 2020, bro. Bro, we was going through a pandemic. Who gave a fuck about Live Nation Ticketmaster at that point? Like, this was news that was absolutely swept under the fucking rug during that time frame. But
Yeah.
right now, while we back outside and we back paying motherfucking an arm and a leg to go see motherfuckers, and Taylor Swift tickets is costing niggas 40 bands on a resale, nigga. What y'all talking? Look, we all up in the court, nigga. I'm watching C-SPAN like a motherfucker. Good.
Yeah, man. So to just explain the Bad Bunny situation, there's an NPR article here. It says after Ticketmaster staff who Mexico's president asked Bad Bunny to hold a free concert. So basically, Mexican
What?
president, yeah, this is back in 2022. They were hoping that he could save the day after Ticketmaster snafu went hundreds of ticket holding fans out of his concerts back in 2022. They were left outside. pretty much. So Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador is calling for Puerto Rican star to perform in Mexico City's Zocalo Square, saying that his daily briefing Wednesday that the government could pay for the lights, stage, and sound, and even install a zip line in the Central Plaza. But this is all, he said this, it made us very emotional to see that young people who couldn't enter because their tickets were cloned because they were cheated, some crying, the president added. They saved a long time to be able to buy tickets, and they were scammed. So to explain this further, so some of the fans, they actually thought they had valid tickets. They were turned away at the door in Mexico City in that year, the same year that the Taylor Swift debacle happened. That it was like the November of 2022. The president of Mexico condemned Ticketmaster publicly. There was no Senate hearing about this. There was no bipartisan Taylor Swift lyrics about that. The system moved on when enough fans with enough social media reach and political connections made enough noise. That is worth sitting with. The system responded to Taylor Swift in 2022 the same way the system always responds to a group with the most visibility and most political weight. That tells you something about who the system is actually designed to serve. So to some degree, I'm not trying to be against the Swifties at all, but this happened with other artists and there wasn't any outcry. So Senator Blumenthal quoted Taylor Swift saying that Ticketmaster ought to look in the mirror and say, "I'm the problem, it's me," which is a Taylor Swift lyric. Senator John Kennedy said that whoever was in the charge of the Eras Tour debacle ought to be fired and the price should be capped. Senator Mike Lee quoted Karma. This is important not because the quotes are funny, though they are, but because it was bipartisan. Republicans and Democrats who agree on almost nothing agreed that Ticketmaster was a problem. That level of consensus in 2023 is extremely rare. It tells you that the bad situation was that it unified people who cannot agree on the color of the sky. So the most damning part is that internal Ticketmaster emails showed that employees knew the ticket brokers. So the people that were uppricing these tickets, buying all the tickets, and people got blocked out from buying tickets. People then bought the tickets. The scalpers raised it up to like what Chris is saying, $40,000, up to that. Ticketmaster knew them. People who buy up large quantity of tickets to resell to inflated prices were breaking the rules. This is an incredibly breach of power. If you know people that are buying it, so maybe you're setting it up so that they jump the queue, and they can buy a big swath of tickets and then outcharge people completely. That is a complete violation. So they're.
And what if that's in house?
It could be.
What if that's in house where that buying up the ticket, selling, because I'm not sure. I believe Ticketmaster has some dealings with the resale market, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see.
Yeah, man, check that out. But they kept doing business with these brokers regardless of the upselling, and an internal email described that a repeated violator as not slowing down, quote in quotations, not slowing down. The company's own employees call their own policy on brokers something they turned a blind eye to as a matter of policy, not as an accident, not as an oversight, as policy. They had to turn a blind eye to these brokers. The company that is responsible for making sure tickets get to fans fairly knew their own system was being gamed, and they let it happen because the brokers were making them money. That is the receipt. It's all listed inside their emails. This is all documented. Let me see if I can find them emails.
Oh, shit. Okay, so Ticketmaster does have Ticketmaster. They have in-house resale platforms, quote unquote, the verified resale network, where on Ticketmaster itself, you can do fan-to-fan resale on there. If you have a Ticketmaster account, that person has a Ticketmaster account. Also, they double dip with the fee. So when Ticketmaster, when you when you buy the ticket the first time, I pay a fee. And then when I sell it to you on Ticketmaster, they get a percentage based on the fee that I sell it to.
Outrageous. This is egregious. This is egregious, bro. We get to hit them up twice.
And also, Ticketmaster created and operates the software called Trade Deck. So this is the inventory management tool that is designed specifically for large scale professional ticket brokers, scalpers, to mass upload thousands of tickets straight up to Ticketmaster resale market. So they have that, and then they also have external resale providers, which is StubHub, SeatGeek, and Vivid Seats. Ticketmaster has digital rotating barcodes, SafeTick, that changes every few seconds to prevent screenshots. To sell a ticket on StubHub, the seller must physically transfer the ticket to the buyer through Ticketmaster's backend system. So they still get that. And then the integration API, because they control the primary ticket, Ticketmaster provides a specialized data integration that allows outside resale sites to verify if the ticket barcode is legit before handing it off to the buyer. So you can't even sell it without them verifying that the ticket is pure for them to go ahead and get them cut. They cut off that fucking sale that you just made. So like, yeah, everything that we just said right there is.
It took, like you said, the biggest artist to blow it up, but this is happening for a long time. It happened with Bad Bunny, but the system is designed this way, and it's extremely predatory. People just want to see their favorite artist, So, got a million people. They try to log into the system at the same time just to retract the telescope situation. Million people try to log in at the same time. They were in the queue for up to 8 hours sometimes. What happened is that computer programs were used by ticket scalpers. They were bots flooded the site to steal tickets, making the lag made the lag even worse, like you just mentioned.
And they own the technology for that. They know who's using it.
They know who's using it. Ticketmaster gave out special verified fan codes to real people, but the site glitched and kicked those fans offline too. So many tickets were sold during the broken pre-sale that Ticketmaster's completely canceled the general sale for regular buyers, and the mess made fans and politicians so angry that the government had to step in and blame them for being a monopoly. So it's like a money glitch,
But this is again. So here this is the shit that is really when you say it's a system that makes people feel emboldened.
Yeah.
During the trial, jurors were shown Slack messages in which Live Nation executives spoke of, quote, robbing them blind, quote, referring to the fans. Like, they know what they were doing. They absolutely know what they were doing. That is the thing that is frustrating, bro. That's the thing that is, and again, there had to be, shout out to whistleblowers who make themselves vulnerable, because the evidence against the defendant included those emails to which Ticketmaster employees admitted, like we turn a blind eye as a matter of policy. We know that we're doing, like, we know that this is wrong. We know that brokers were supposed to be flagged for this large scale rule violation, and it wasn't being done.
Yeah, and that's why they had the whole consent. What is it? The consent agreement, the consent decree, they call it. So if you have a decree and you say, hey, just don't I trust you with practicing business fairly, and it takes Taylor Swift fans to go crazy and call out the system, then we have a broken system. It shouldn't take the biggest artist in the world for this to be seen, for one. Two, it went under the radar for so long, and we just talked about it as if it was a nuisance. Oh man, things are getting so expensive. Oh my god, man, these ticket prices. Oh well, it has to be because it's Taylor Swift. Well, it has to be because it's Beyonce, because it's Bad Bunny. But no, people are creating a business model around the 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 predatory nature of this. People are making that their career, guys. So think about that. These scalpers and these brokers are working with Ticketmaster to fuck you over. And the government had already said, hey, you can merge if you don't do this. Now we get to you clearly breaking the consent agreement, the decree. What happens now? But my thing is that it's still happening today. Like nothing has changed. Like, so when it gets, let's talk about the lawsuit a little bit, because I think when you start to see, and like you mentioned, the where this is going to, where this is leading, and with how much they paid in comparison to how much they made, it's a slap in the face. So we talked about what happened on May 23rd, that the lawsuit was opened, the Sherman Act, and now I want to just talk about the $280 million settlement and why this matters, because the Trump DOJ, as of a couple months ago, settled the case 1 week into the trial of $280 million, as Chris mentioned in the opening. That now number, it sounds like a big deal. It sounds like a large number. $280 million, guys, a lot of money. Here's what it actually means. Live Nation's 2025 annual revenue was approximately $22 billion. $280 million divided by $22 billion is approximately 1.27%. And this is for 1 year. The National Independent Venue Association calculated it differently. Let me bring that up because I actually have their calculations here as well. Live Nation's reported settlement of $280 million is equivalent to 4 days of their 2025 revenue, which means they could potentially make it back by this Friday. This is on March 9th, on a Monday. The reported settlement does not appear to include any specific or explicit protections for fans, artists, or independent venues and festivals. Reported details also indicate that ticket sale platforms could be further empowered by the new requirements for Ticketmaster to host their listings, which would likely exacerbate the price of gouging potential for predatory resellers and the platforms that serve them. If these facts are true, NIVA, which is a National Independent Venue Association, views this as a failure of the justice system. No accountability. Again. So, no, you got something to say?
Yeah, I think one of the things that is very off-putting about the settlement is that again, it's a sweetheart deal, as Chuck Schumer called it, but it just allows them to continue.
Yeah. If let's put it in perspective. If you make, let's say, $50,000 a year, right? And you have a penalty that you got to pay something due to something you did at your job or whatever. The proportion of that will be equal to this is that you would pay approximately $630 and keep your job, your house, your car, and every advantage you gained while breaking the law. So that's the equivalent, to put in perspective of what's happening. $630 up to your $5,500 or $50,000 job. So, and you get no jail time. You can keep your house, keep your car, keep your job. Nothing changes. It was confirmed in court filings that the Live CEO, Michael Rapino, and other executives met directly with Trump, too, before the DOJ settlement was made public. This is not a rumor. This is fact now. It is in the court record. Now, the Tunney Act requires that certain antitrust settlements go through a public comment period, specifically to prevent exactly this kind of behind closed doors deals from happening without any scrutiny, right? The CEOs of the company, the CEO of the company the government was suing, walked into the White House and walked out with a settlement that cost less than a work week's revenue. Like you said, Senator Chuck Schumer called it a sweetheart deal and said Trump took the side of an illegal monopoly whose employees bragged about robbing their fans blind. The Senate Majority Leader on record called the DOJ settlement a corporate favor. That is the thread connecting everything we've been talking about, from the Powell memo to Project 2025 to now how everything they put in place connects to how corporations run today and how they can now manipulate the system and do backdoor deals. This is a complete abomination of our justice system. There's a reason why there's antitrust laws. There's a reason why there's anti-monopoly laws. And right in front of our face, Live Nation and Ticketmaster are getting away with freaking murder.
And this is where it kind of connects to people like you and I, just to bring it out of the courtroom.
Yeah.
Because everybody don't want to. We're black fans of black artists, and I know we introduced this with Taylor Swift and Bad Bunny, but when service fees on new ticket sales must not exceed 15% of face value, that's what it's supposed to be. The practice of revealing a $16 facility charge and an $8 order processing fee only at the final confirmation screen should be prohibited. But it's hard to keep a rate, not make it racial, but black and brown concert goers, they get priced out first.
Exactly.
But when these fees exceed from 27 to 82% on top of face value, when we just said it's not supposed to exceed 15%, my guy, and let's keep it a buck. We talk about antitrust, and we said we're not supposed to threaten people. Michael Rapino was also reported to tell the Barclays Center, "Hey man, we don't know how many Live Nation niggas you're gonna be able to come fill up your little motherfucking arena now that y'all went to SeatGeek." You see what I'm saying? Like, because Brooklyn venue now promotes SeatGeek as their promoted concert ticket deliverer. Rapino's like, all right, well shit, we're gonna hold out artists. So back to what I'm saying, independent artist lockout.
That's a billionaire.
That's the independent artist lockout, bro. Like if Live Nation owns, manage, and works with hundreds of venues across the country, like shout out to Spitter, man. Like I go see Currency wherever that nigga at, bro. Like, and it might be a Live Nation fucking theater that he go to, or it might be a hole in the wall. Okay. But I'm gonna go support that independent artist because I know that that's what and I think he been for some time now, if I'm not mistaken, he's been trying to find venues where he can eat off of. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like that there is no reason for me to hit the road, go promote, bring a tour, all of that, for me not to control the ticket price, get a percentage of the ticket price, get a percentage of the house, the gate, whatever the fuck it is, my nigga. There's no reason why niggas are coming to this venue for this artist that they should not be able to reap the benefits of why this is happening. So
yeah, it's not. But the thing about going to those venues, sorry to cut you off, but
yeah,
you have less seating, and it's the opportunity of less fans showing up because there's only a limit of how or standing room, whatever. It's a limit of how many people you can fit in there. So if you are a black independent artist trying to build an audience at scale, without going through the Live Nation pipeline, it makes it very difficult.
But what do you consider at scale though? Because I think right now this is the biggest
So
thing where
let's say a venue can hold 20,000 people, and it's locked into a deal that says Ticketmaster is the primary, ticketer, and you don't want to go to Ticketmaster and you want to get a piece of the ticket sales, you're locked out of that. There's no other option to get that 20,000 seat arena, So you gotta
well,
go through Live Nation.
can you go around there and do 21,000?
But who wants to go to do 20 concerts over the
I
course
mean,
of a month when you can do that in one night when you're a big enough artist to do it? Especially when you're a big enough artist to do it, but now you got to work 20 times as hard to get what you can get in one night.
but if you're not getting it though, like okay, so one of the biggest, so now we're here, right? So one of the biggest artists, some of the biggest artists, the biggest artists are managed by Live Nation, and one of these, the first one that comes to mind for me is Jay-Z. I remember when Jay-Z signs the first deal of this nature in 2008, excuse me, where he got 150 million for 10 years. And he's rapped about it, I gotta run it 250. Like, like he's very proud of that particular deal. But what that was an exclusive lockdown of a prominent artist that can only tour exclusively through this particular Jay-Z doesn't need Live Nation for him to, like you said, but at the end of the day, once he got his 150 million up front, he can't complain about what they're making on the back end. And what we just found out is that Live Nation made $3.1 billion on the back end of concerts after selling 646 million tickets. So, nigga, as an artist, I want a piece of that. I need it. Like, if I'm on the road, if I'm the reason why, especially when we talking about a nigga like Jay-Z who has performed at Barclays back to back nights, or he's done multiple shows at Madison Square Garden back to back nights. Nigga, I want to get a piece of those 3 fucking nights, nigga.
And this is where me and you have the same debate of when you choose to take the front end money and you know what the cost of that is, and you have an idea of, okay, yeah, I'm getting this huge bag that I've never received before. Are you then entitled to then come back around years later and say, oh, you're making that much? Oh, can I get a piece too? And then but you're already out there working your ass off for the next 20 years because you already got the front end of it. They got you for the next 5, let's say not even 20, let's say it's 5 years. They got you every year. You hitting the freaking tour bus because you gotta go out there and work because you already got the bread, right? And you know what? Make our money back and more because now you're signed under us 360, 24/7.
It's a 360 deal. It's a 360.
Yeah.
It's a 360 deal, bro. It's a 360. And you know what's funny? From Hove talks a big game about niggas in 360 deals, and he's in one. Like, like he knows what. But Live Nation also controls festivals. Like, you know what I mean? Like they control festivals. Like, so it is a truly.
Go out to Coachella. Hit the get over there. Go to England. Go to hit that. Yeah.
I'm not nigga in Coachella, nigga. They got niggas sleeping out in tents. Talking about it's luxury shit, nigga. They got niggas sleeping in tents, bro. I'm not doing that. But yeah, man, I think like I was like Bad Bunny, Taylor Swift, them being able to the duality of both of those artists, right? Of who gets seen and who doesn't, one company owning the music, the team, the culture, like this all of that, like all of that is it makes it and again, Taylor, I don't even know if Taylor's managed by Rock Nation, but let me see. I mean, not Rock Nation, Live Nation. Because my thing is, if you're not managed by Live Nation, why would you do business with Live Nation knowing what they do? So Taylor Swift is not managed by Live Nation. Her management is fully in-house. Okay, so she has in-house management. That's her mom, her dad. Okay, that's fire. That's fire. So she when major artists tour, they typically hire corporate concert promoter Live Nation to handle logistics. So
Here's the thing,
she
though. They're
she
still the
went
gatekeeper no
independent
matter
though.
what.
She
Yeah,
went
she did. She
independent
did.
though.
They're still the gatekeeper to the venues.
They're still the gatekeeper. Yeah, they're still gatekeepers to the venues. Yeah, you're
You
right.
know? So even for
Yeah,
the biggest artists in the
and
world,
through the ticketing clearly
and through
because she
ticketing,
had to
yeah.
get she couldn't direct. She can directly book stadiums, but she has to work with independent partners. You know what I'm saying? Rather,
You can't avoid these motherfuckers, yo. You cannot avoid
yeah,
them.
yeah,
Whether you're the artist, whether you're a fan, this is not good. And you mentioned it about the problem for black artists, and it's not just black artists and concert goers. It's young people, working class. You know, uh, this is not an accident, man. This is they know how much working class people, black and brown people, young people are making and are willing to give up. Actually, they don't care. They just want to see how much they can squeeze out of you with the system, and that's why people are fucking. That's why our generation can't get houses and shit because everything, even your entertainment is squeezing you by the throat in the pockets. And these guys are becoming billionaires, guys. 22 billion in 1 year. This is out, and they don't give a fuck. This guy said, "Oh yeah, oh Barclays, y'all want to go with the SeatGeek? Oh yeah, y'all ain't gonna see y'all ain't gonna see nobody that we represent. No nobody, and you don't think 22 billion is enough? Like, good lord. Meaning, and it goes completely against their consent agreement or just the consent agree. So it just goes to show that no matter what, there's a hold on. When there's a hold on the market, you can get away with anything.
yeah.
Now,
I just real quick, there
mhm,
is an independent model. I know I mentioned him before, but my guy Currency, you know, he just did in this particular Winter Circle tour, right? He generates between 30 to 60 grand a night, depending on the venue. Between this, if it's a 600 to 1,000 fan venue, a sold out show, gross ticket revenue 30 to 60,000. He gets instead of that small flat fee that we talk about, he independent as an independent headliner. He negotiates a favorable split of the net ticket sales, often 85 to 90%, after the revenue takes its cut for expenses, staffing, and security.
okay.
So just off of if he does a 30 city tour at, let's just say, what's the median? 45,000 times 30 cities. He done made 1.3 in a month. Or not in a month, but a 30
Listen,
city, a 30,
and
30
that's
cities.
incredible.
But what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is like to scale. But when we mentioned independent artists trying to get to scale, that's what I asked about, like what scale was, because I know some people can make a really good living bypassing the model, right? Bypassing the majors, so to speak. So, but like you said, 20,000 arena, you can fully support that with the Taylor mode as well. I just put in curve, but Taylor, she independently booked her own stadium tour and paid the fee. I don't know what she made on the back end. I can look that up.
Sure, it's good,
But like,
I mean, there's a whole lot that goes into that. I'm sure there's a
yeah,
lot
you're right.
of
You're right.
planning,
You're
a lot
right.
of like she has a team behind her, and people
Yeah.
like Currency are not going to have that apparatus to do something like that, and I do think that you need to have that to grow. I think grow as an independent artist you need to support because 30 venues, man, there's only so many times you could sing bottom of the bottle before you're like, damn, I'm done. Can I go home? You got to be able
What'd
to
you say? Bottom of the bottom. Oh, you
or
said
the count.
yes, yes, yes,
What? Scottie Pippen guys, there's only so many times you can sing these things before you're like, let me go home. I got my but
bro.
you're doing a lot of work to
I mean, not if I mean, but to yes and no, but on both ends though. So let's think of all these things right now, right? Let's look at the Currency lower model. You saying he's doing a lot. Let's look at Taylor Swift on the larger scale. She's doing a lot. She's coming out of pocket only to try to sell those tickets. Right to where she don't know if people's going to come to the venue or not because she don't have control of the tickets being sold. You know what I'm saying? Because we just said if somebody don't pay that 40,000, that's a seat that's not there.
I'm just saying Taylor Swift has the apparatus to do that, but this whole thing with Live Nation and Ticketmaster, it's I'm not trying to be hyperbolic here, but it's the same mechanism as redlining. It really is.
Oh. Okay.
It's not to the same severity, obviously.
No, but I can
it's
hear
the same
you.
logic. One entity, controls access to the resources, uses that to determine, who gets in, who stays out. And the remedy to redlining is, going through the law, and this is the same, because I think that there is going to be a reckoning for them in some facets because it's you cannot have this much. There's no power. It just always goes back to that. Like when it comes to holding the market hostage, essentially,
Now,
But,
when we just, and this is my final point, I'll let you get to this. When we talk about 30 days singing bottom of the bottom, I just looked up Taylor Swift. That motherfucker did 149 shows.
damn.
I know them fingers hurt struggling that motherfucker.
But
nigga, she made to your point, which we said the Currency's 30 to 60,000. She made 14 to 17 million per show.
Wow.
Per show, per night, yeah.
Per night.
So she grossed post tax 190.
Post-tax.
I don't post tax 190 million just off the first leg. I'm about to see how many shows was their first leg. How many shows was her first?
Shout out to her doing it big, man.
Her first leg was 53 shows. So she made 190 million off of 53 shows post tax. That's so let's see. 190 million, okay, divided by 53 shows. So she made close to 3.6 million per the pure after,
And how many more shows she got after that leg?
That's what I'm saying, bitch. I know she's tired. Let me see. How many total legs include her? Because she had a global tour and an international stadium tour.
Yeah.
So I'm about to check. Yes. Let me get that right now.
She ain't fucking around.
Yo, she ain't fucking around. Getting. That's what I'm saying, nigga. Bottom of the bottom, bitch. I know Currency wish he could sing bottom of the bottom. Because I've seen everybody, nigga.
But my thing is like to make the amount. My thing is not like the amount of time. It's more like to make the amount that you can make in one night if you were allowed to be in a venue. and that seated more people, or you could, so I'm not saying he's at that level yet, but when he gets,
So
or maybe he is,
so she did
he-
so she did 53 shows in 20 cities. That's the first leg. The second leg was Latin America. She did 13 stadium dates. 13 stadium dates over 5 months. She did Mexico City. She did Rio de Janeiro. She was in Brazil. Then she went and did Asia Pacific, 17 massive stadium dates. Tokyo, Melbourne, Sydney,
world.
Singapore, and then she went to Europe and did 50 shows in Europe in 11 countries from May to August. She did 8 straight nights at Wembley Stadium. Bro, how many times at Wembley could you sell out Wembley, bro?
Shit. All
Nigga,
I was trying to do at one time.
AEW need to motherfucking call her up. Yeah.
Get Taylor Swift on the line, bro.
And then her final leg was North America, the finale, where she came back and did Miami, New Orleans, Indianapolis, and then she did first ever entry into Canada with Toronto and Vancouver.
Yo,
So
Taylor, man, she getting
bro,
to it, yo.
bro, 149 shows. I think this totaled up to be she pocketed 2 to 4.1 billion on the back end through the ecosystem of the tour. I ain't heard not one Taylor Swift song in full, nigga.
Oh my god, bro. Must be nice, man. Travis Kelce, I get it.
Bro, sign whatever paperwork that bitch told you, nigga. And don't cheat, nigga. Or if you do cheat, don't get caught. No yeet, nigga.
Congrats to Travis and Taylor, man. Yo,
honestly, man.
She's busting her ass. You got to hand it to her. But yeah, let's talk about, before we get up out of here, some solutions I come across. Every dollar that does go through Ticketmaster is a marketing signal. The market responds to signals when enough signals accumulate. So you cannot single-handedly break up Live Nation right now as it stands, but you can choose to spend your concert dollar at an independent venue instead of Live Nation amphitheater when both options exist. You can use SeatGeek, AXS, or a direct venue box office instead of Ticketmaster where the options are available. The National Independent Venue Association maintains a list of independent venues by city. Those are the venues whose concert dollars do not flow through Live Nation system. That list exists and it's free to access, guys. So use it up.
What's that website?
The National Independent Venue Association.
Okay, my guy.
NEVA. That's what I was just on. Actually,
I'm about to motherfucking bookmark that, kid.
Yeah, NEVA. Let me see. Yep, NEVA. That's where I was just on. I showed you the money they were making. So yeah, the Trump DOJ settled and walked away. The federal government is not your ally in this fight at the moment, guys, unfortunately. So the states are going to have to do the heavy lifting for this one. There's 33 states and DC who rejected the settlement and kept fighting are California, New York, Texas, states that rarely agree on anything, are all in this coalition. They are pushing for a full structural breakup. That case is in the remedies phase right now. So if you live in one of those states, your attorney general is actively fighting this. Knowing that your state is in this fight and supporting the elected officials who are pursuing it is one of the most effective and direct political actions available to you on this issue at the moment. And then the honest stealing and what is and what's not coming quickly. So do not expect a breakup of Live Nation to happen in the next year. Possibly not in the next 2 or 3 years, guys. So unfortunately, it's not going to happen right away, or might not happen ever, unfortunately. But Live Nation will appeal every unfavorable ruling. Remedies phase will take time. Their lawyers are some of the best in the country, and they have financial incentive to delay. The realistic timeline for structural change in this industry is long. The reason to stay engaged anyway is that a long timeline only works in Live Nation's favor if people stop paying attention. So us doing this pod right here is a big deal. The states who kept fighting their DOJ settled did so because they knew the public was watching. The public watching is not a minor variable. Stay on their necks. Stay on the motherfuckers' necks. It is the reason why 33 states had political will to keep going after the federal government left the room. So please, please stay on their necks. Keep the conversation going. Whatever you want to talk about your music, talk to your friends. Hey, listen, we ain't going to Ticketmaster and Live Nation. If we can, try to find another place to buy our tickets. So go to NEVA. I'm going to say it one more time. The National Independent Venue Association. Let me go show that to you one more time. I'm sharing it. This is the website. So you can get membership, state live. They got policies, media. They got the events. This is the people fighting for your rights, as it is to entertainment within the music industry and just ticketing. Period. So check them out. And they should have a list. They got an outreach toolkit. You got the state policy tracking. They got the economic impact calculator. And I'm seeing if I can find the resource of list of independent venues. Indie and venues. There you go. Certified Live Independent. It all starts at independent stages. Here. So you click here, search by name. You can find within your city independent venues, and they have a whole list of where they support independent venues. Oh shit, it's not sharing right now. 1 second. Oh, sorry guys. But yeah, you can go to here and liveindependent.com, go down to find independent venues and search by name. You can also search by region, Northeast.
Who that in that bubble vest, my nigga?
And it gives you a whole list of the independent venues where you can buy tickets. What bubble vest? Share this.
With the yellow glasses on that page you was just on. Who's that artist? Did they say the name of that nigga?
My bad. Man. Fucked up. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Sorry, yeah. So yeah, you search here. If you click Northeast, and let me share this tab, it shows you the list of all the independent. But on the bubble vest, I don't know who that is. That's Futuristic, I think. I don't know who that is. Barboza?
Oh nah, he can't be one of ours.
All right, but yeah, you can go here, find the certified live independent venues at bandsintown.com /NIVA if y'all want to check out the independent venues. And you want to just go by, Northeast, Southwest, these are the places you want to check out on Neva. So you want to go to Neva at liveindependent.com here, and then click on your neck of the woods, Midwest, Southwest. Boom. All right. Let's go. I think so. We're gonna close up the show. You know, Taylor Swift made this whole conversation visible. The emails made it documented. The lawsuit made it official, and the jury made it proven, guys. It made it proven. This is a proven fact at this point. So the fight is still ongoing. The settlement made it political, and 33 states are still fighting right now anyways. Listen, the federal jury found Live Nation guilty on every antitrust concern, guys. Keep this conversation going. The CEOs met the president before the settlement was announced. The settlement cost them 4 days of revenue. That's not justice. People who waited 8 hours in a queue got nothing. People who paid $40,000 to resell got nothing. The independent artists who lost access to major venues got nothing. The Bad Bunny fans who were turned away at the door got nothing. The only people who got something out of the resolution so far are the ones who walked into the White House and asked for a settlement. This is not a broken legal system, guys. This is a system that's working exactly as the Powell memo designed it to work. That's your receipt for today. With that being said, we got everything. Has anything to say with you, Chris the Most High? How you doing?
No. I mean, I'm doing all right, man. That was a great ending. I ain't wanna step on it because you know I was gonna say shout out to Beyonce. She took that Taylor Swift model, my nigga. That Renaissance tour got her about 2.5 mil.
Figure out a way.
They figured it away.
But I hope that they can also be a part of the fight. Listen, if you're a big artist out there, you happen to come across Chitty Bang and Chris the Most High talking about Taylor Swift and Beyonce, join the fight, speak out, use your voice. Or if you're not a big artist, if you're an artist at all, use your fucking voice. This is not okay. We gotta change this system. With that being said, we are everything is. We are the zeitgeist. We are the culture. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that follow. Thank y'all for joining us here on the Receipt Room. I will not be here tomorrow, or maybe I will. We'll see. But my boy Chris will hold it down for sure. So it might just be joining him in the smoke room.
Yo, that's gonna be. You gotta create that before you leave, nigga. Oh me. Hey man.
We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Y'all know what it is. Peace.
He'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.